Hey y'all, hope you're doing well today. Today's message is going to be about inversion, how manipulators, toxic people, narcissistic individuals with bad intentions, liars, how they invert our subjective reality for their benefit. Okay, so like we mentioned before, we have this objective reality, which is what we really want to get to, and that's why a lot of times, when you are being manipulated, it's described as being in a fog. Because what happens when you're in a fog? You can't see. You can't see very far, at least in front of you, right? You can only see like immediately in front of you. So that's a great analogy for being under the influence of mind control from a narcissistic type person, right? Again, they're inverting our reality. So let's take a look at what the term invert means. What does it mean to invert? This is via the online etymology dictionary, my new favorite online dictionary. So to invert means to turn upside down, to reverse, to upset, to pervert, to corrupt, and misrepresent. So I thought this term was a great term to use to describe how a manipulator operates, because it kind of encompasses all of these other terms that we use a lot, right, when we describe these people. And I want to make the connection here. I want you to think about what makes horror movies so scary. A lot of times it is characteristics in the scary characters, right? The monster, the possessed girl, I don't know why it always seems to be a girl. The creature, that whatever it is that's the scary character in these horror movies. What makes them scary? It's because a lot of their characteristics are unnatural. They're inverted, in other words. It's not human, okay? And so if you think about it, like as an example, a character in a movie that may be possessed is going to have this cold stare that's very unnatural. Okay, maybe they don't blink ever. Maybe their eyes are totally dark. Whatever it is, it's definitely artificial. Okay, so it's like anything that goes against nature. It's the inversion of what's natural about being human. Sometimes you may see these characters, have these supernatural abilities to to hang upside down or to walk upside down or backwards, and it's like so creepy, right? Just creeps you out, and it's because it's inverted. So it's, they have unnatural movements, they may have a strange voice or make sounds that are unnatural. So I just want you to really let the concept of inversion sink down into your mind, because this is going to just help add to your radar, that detection system that you've been gifted with after being entangled with these manipulative people, and you've been made aware, you've woken up to this awareness. Just really sinking deep into the concept of inversion is going to help you. Again, to invert, turn upside down, reverse, to upset, to pervert, to corrupt, and to misrepresent, okay? All right, so essentially this is, not only is this true or very accurately representative of characters in horror movies, it's also representative of people with bad intentions, liars, manipulators, people who abuse you and use you. And they do it by creating this fog, so that all you can see is what's in front of you and not everything else. So the objective reality, if you consider, is out here. You can't see it. All you can see is the subjective reality, and they're in control of it, right? So they essentially, when you learn to see these characteristics, right, what are they doing? They're betraying the laws of nature. Okay, That's how they operate. They operate in the dark side of this reality. Okay? They invert the truth. They flip it upside down through projection, through acting, through guilt tripping. And they do all of this all to betray our trust. Okay? Essentially, they are a predator in hiding. Okay? They're able to hide because they are inverting our reality. Okay? And the way they do this is they get you to believe the spoken word over your own observation, over your own eyes and ears. Okay? Which is why they say, there's the phrase pulling the wool over your eyes. So like, for example, you may believe that they're actually pulling a lot of weight in the relationship, right? Like if there's shared tasks, if you share a household or a business or a project or whatever it is that you're sharing responsibility with a toxic person, as an example, they may seem to be carrying a lot of weight there, okay? But a lot of times the reason they seem this way is because, again, it's through the spoken word, okay? And they're minimizing your efforts, so you're pulling your weight too, but they may be speaking phrases that lead you to believe that what you're doing is not as important as what they're doing, or that you're doing it wrong. And if they were doing that, they would do it this way, which is better. They complain about how hard things are that they do, so they're minimizing your efforts and they're overinflating their efforts. That's how they create this false power dynamic where you're down here and they're up here. Okay, they're overinflating their efforts and they're minimizing your efforts. So they're creating this power dynamic that goes like this. The inversion is because the objective reality or the truth is actually like this. You're here and they're here. Okay? And this is why a lot of times when you come into the reality of things, you realize they're actually kind of lazy. And they're a lot of times piggybacking off of the efforts of others, right? They're thieves in that manner. And they may be a thief of someone else's energy or the efforts that this person expended to earn money, and then they steal, things of value. So you have to really be willing to examine the stuff through observation very closely. Think of it like, I've mentioned to you all about this river that's symbolized in a lot of fairy tales and folklore myths, all this. It seems to represent truth, like ultimate truth, deep truth, this river. And so if you think of that, consider that, just think about, doing a deep dive. It's like, okay, I'm gonna put my snorkel gear on, I'm gonna put my scuba gear on, and I'm just gonna dive down into that river. I'm gonna get to the bottom of things. So see, here we have another phrase that's often used, getting to the bottom of things, right? But it takes effort. So, and you have to do so safely too. That's why that gear is necessary. Okay, remember the mother, when she's singing to Elsa and Anna in Frozen, she's saying, don't go too deep in the river or you might drown. So you have to be prepared. These people don't want to be exposed. A lot of times it's, you may think that the manipulation is not as profound as it actually is, and so you may underestimate how dangerous a situation that you're actually in. So I just encourage you to observe, and when you decide to try to get to the bottom of things, just consider danger, consider safety, and prepare to do that dive. To get to the bottom of things, okay? Just be very careful. All right. So ultimately, I just want to encourage you to look at the fruit, okay? And there's different ways to do this. We're going to talk about it. I'm just going to ask you, and I'm going to let you draw your own conclusions, and then I'm going to share with you how I see this, okay? So what kind of fruit do they bear? This is how you can do a deep dive, okay, by looking at the fruit that they bear. Number one, is it beneficial for many or just for them? You're looking at how they spend their time. You're looking at their efforts, right? The things they're engaged in, right? Is there anything that comes from that? That's what I mean by fruit, okay? Is it beneficial for several people or just them? Number two, is it truly beneficial? Or is it actually not even necessary or really important? In other words, are they just trying to look busy? Number three, how much fruit is even there? Is there really anything to show? Or are they just kind of spinning their wheels, right? They may say they're working, but they may be, networking, right? Networking online, just looking for new supply or additional supply, other people to take advantage of, other people to, is the word swindle right? I don't know, it's coming to me, but in other words, other people to steal from, right? It's kind of like, why candy coat this stuff? Sometimes I feel like this is where language is tricky. When you consider the thought of, or the concept of casting spells, a lot of times it's the spoken word that does that. And it's because you can layer reality with a word that comes across as more easily digestible, right? Or even delicious, but that's why you get the term candy coated, right? Don't candy coat it. So it's when you come into this awareness and you're connecting dots, it's like all these phrases you've heard your whole life. It's like there's a whole nother level of meaning to them, right? So I just encourage you to look at fruit, right? The concept of the fruit a person bears through those three avenues there. All right, now I think it's good, especially because they're guilt tripping you, they're projecting, and especially in the early stages of your awareness, a lot of times you can truly think that you are the problem, even though you're doing your best and you're an honest person. So what you can do is you can evaluate your fruit in the same way, okay, through those same three lenses, right? Remember, is it beneficial for many? Whatever you're doing with your time and your efforts, are you actually benefiting many people or just yourself? Number two, is it truly even beneficial, whatever you're doing, or is it actually just not necessary or important and you just look busy? Number three, how much fruit is even there? Is there anything to really show for your efforts or not? You don't have to look at these through the lens of self-conviction. Sometimes you can look at these just to see areas in your life that you can improve, right? As long as you're working to improve. I hope you guys can hear me. I swear there's like so much noise and beeping and sirens and all this stuff going on. But yeah, you can certainly look at your own fruit and evaluate in the same way. But this is your proof. This is your proof. It gives you perspective, okay? And then we have the fruits that are defined in the Bible, biblical fruits, okay? And here's where you just have another layer of revelation. We have love, joy, peace, forbearance, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. So even if a liar, a manipulative person who's exploiting you and your kindness and your trust is looking busy and you're not able to be clear on like productive fruits, you can look at these fruits too as another way to evaluate, okay? Do they seem to exhibit true joy and peace, or are they constantly like agitated and paranoid and hypervigilant, like they look like they've done somebody wrong, in other words. Well, it's probably because they have. So, you know, are they happy? I mean, joy is a fruit of the Spirit, of the Holy Spirit, right? Of having that numinous quality, of being aligned with a higher power. And this is important because when somebody is truly aligned with a higher power, it gives them a moral compass, right? If somebody's not, then they can just kind of decide what's right and what's wrong for themselves, and that may include stealing from others. You see what I mean? So just look for these fruits. These are very important, I feel like, regardless of your spiritual beliefs, okay? These are just great qualities to have as a good person anyway, right? Well, take it even deeper, you know, with your dive. Instead of snorkeling, do a scuba dive. Go way on down there. And here's why. Narcissists can also mimic these fruits, okay, of love and joy. This is the mask. A lot of times this is a big part of what constructs a mask. And so when you do this deep dive, look at each one of these. Again, we got love, joy, peace, forbearance, all these qualities listed out. So let's start with love. The Bible expands on this concept. It says that love is patient and kind. It does not envy or boast. It's not arrogant or rude. It doesn't insist on its own way. It's not irritable or resentful. It does not rejoice at wrongdoing. It rejoices with truth, okay? So in other words, I'll just share with you my thoughts on this part here. Does not rejoice at wrongdoing. To me, that's kind of like if you, just an honest and true and authentic person, if you make a mistake, they're not going to, get off on that. They're not going to make fun of you and laugh about it. I mean, if you're good friends and it goes back and forth and y'all are just, it's in good, a good spirit, that's different. But if somebody's exhibiting all these other qualities, like they're very boastful and they're inconsiderate, so rudeness, it says it's not arrogant or rude. Well, how can rudeness present? It can present as being very inconsiderate of others' feelings with their comments. So you have to kind of, almost draw like this chart where you have a bubble in the middle and then you have all these shoots off of it. I've mentioned before, ideas for you all with journaling. This can help. It expands, right? When you expand all these concepts, again, even when it's describing love as patient and kind, what does that mean? How does that look? Does not envy or boast. How does that look? And then is not arrogant or rude. What does that look like? So when you do this deep dive, it's going to help you be practical and logical when you examine a person's walk, what they call their walk in this life. You're going to be able to see through their actions the truth of who they are. And so also it's going to expose tactics like when they tell you a half-truth or insults wrapped up in compliments. And just I encourage you to look for substitutes of these fruits, right? This is where they do the whole look here, not there kind of thing. So they may be keying in on you examining a particular part of their character, right? Which is why you don't want to really make this obvious. And so if they do that, if they're able to do that, this is where they're going to start overinflating the things that they're doing as part of faking you off. So just kind of take note. Observation is so important. And so, like I said, observation, doing some deep dives, getting logical, and just keeping control of your feelings and breathing and regulating everything, right? Your thoughts, what you hook into and onto as truth. Remember that you have the power to decide what thoughts to latch onto and to take in and pull in as truth, because that's going to form your beliefs about yourself as well as your beliefs about reality, right? Which is what constructs your subjective reality. So as you do this, you're going to start clearing that fog that has been overlaying the objective reality, and you're going to see it for what it is, right? When they're saying that they love you, but their eyes are showing that there's rage underneath, and it's not authentic, and it's intimidating, and they're trying to intimidate you with their body language or whatever it is, their stance. So you're going to start to see the truth, but you have to work at it. So I hope this has given you a lot to think about today. I hope that it's been inspiring for you and encouraging, and I hope that it has helped to build on your discernment, and especially I hope that it got the wheels turning. So thanks so much for coming along today. I hope that you have a beautiful day, and I'll see you again very soon.
It's full of love.